Welcome to The Gorgeous Effect, the podcast that's about to rock your marketing world. I'm Julie Chanel, and with my co-founder, Kathy Olson, we're the masterminds behind Funnel Gorgeous and FG Funnels. We're about to drop some serious tea on how to create funnels that not only look amazing, but actually convert into customers. We'll chat mouth-watering offers, copy, design, and give you an inside look of some of our best and worst funnels. No smoke and mirrors, just real strategies that work from two ladies who have been around the funnel block. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and get ready to unleash the gorgeous effect on your business. It's time to show the world what you've got. Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Gorgeous Effect. This is Julie and Kathy, and today we are tackling AI safety in business, which, oh my, it's a big topic. It's a big topic. It impacts us all as business owners. It also impacts us just as humans on this planet Earth. And this conversation has been going on a lot on X. It's been going on in the news. It's been going on social media. In fact, back in August, I published an entire email, a post, a podcast episode about AI safety. And we just feel like it's really important to talk about it today. So great topic idea, Kathy. It's a heavy one.
I know, it actually is scary. I only like talking about happy stuff. So but if this prevents unhappy things happening later, so I'm a great prepper. So I want to make sure that, the happiness stays. So let's make AI stay happy and not take over the world Terminator style.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think has been a little bit of a disservice is that there's been a lot of talk, like you said, of that Terminator style of AI, like we're going to go extinct and it's going to be misaligned and it's going to hack all our computers and all this sort of fantastical stuff. But I actually think that the danger is much more subtle and nefarious, and why I want to talk about it, because I think once we see it, we can't unsee it. And that is that, let's just use ChatGPT as the standard AI, is this incredibly powerful tool that we just take for granted is good for us. And that's how it stays undetected. And I am not suggesting that chat has any nefarious intent or is trying to pull a wool over our eyes. I'm talking about the fact that human beings, when we get disconnected from other humans, when we isolate ourselves, when we get addicted to technology, we fall into delusion. We fall into misinformation. And in its worst form, we end up in a type of psychosis. And that, I think, is actually much, much more the problem right now than even the Terminator style, we're going to go extinct.
Yeah. Right. It's like because we know humans are dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And we know humans in isolation it turns into a loop, right? Of bad thoughts, and that start to trigger other thought, right? It's just so like we already know that does happen. So if chat is not saving us from ourselves, which they're kind of misaligned, right? It wants you to keep using it. So it doesn't want to tell you the things, it doesn't want to give you tough love because that threatens its safety, right? To be not used. So I know this started out kind of innocently, I think, just talking about, oh, is chat too nice? Is it is it like agreeing with us a little too much? And this was just a few months ago. I feel like we were having these conversations, right? Of is it too nice to us? Is it too reassuring and reaffirming to okay, no, well now what is that? What is the exponential version of that? Of being nice? How far does that go to where it's totally, yeah. Usually she's nodding crazy. She's like, yes.
I know you guys can't see, but I'm nodding. I'm nodding. Well, I think so. If we look in human history, the first AI that we all sort of encountered on a mass scale were social media algorithms. And we sort of sleptwalked into the problems there. We did not realize the danger of social media algorithms, the addiction of phones and devices. And where we are at today is that humans with incentives around money or power will manipulate algorithms through propaganda, through rage bait, through all of this stuff, and literally create alternate realities depending on that person's algorithm. So if we line up 10 people and we all put them on TikTok, every single one of those people are going to have a completely different view of the world because of what the TikTok algorithm is feeding them. One person will believe that COVID's about to kill us all. One person will believe that, Trump is the Messiah. One person will believe that, everyone's getting plastic surgery. One person will, whatever your like obsession is, it's going to show that more. And over time, that is going to influence how you see the world. And so now we see this, and now we have documentaries that have come out that have talked about how entire governments have like shifted elections because of algorithms and propaganda. And now AI enters the chat, right? And AI not only will curate that algorithm similarly to social media, but now it will reflect back to you, mirror you, and agree with you. And so I was having this like, a couple of months ago, I was having this moment of like, are we going to just like have a brand new disorder in the DSM-5, like AI induced psychosis or AI induced delusions? Like, how do we prevent this? Not just being too nice or, drinking your own Kool-Aid, but actually like devolving into a distorted reality because all we have is chat telling us that we're amazing and that everything we think is perfect.
Yeah, because really, it's like what's fact versus its opinion. Like that's the problem is that
Yeah.
if we fundamentally believe that it's not flawed, that it's getting its information from good sources and whatever, that it's based on fact, there's so many questions that we ask that are not factual. So,
Right.
so where is, right? Like, so that, and it hallucinates, which doesn't help at all,
It
right?
hallucinates, it reads the subtext of our question. If we just ask a basic question, but we don't realize how much bias is in the questions that we ask.
Yeah, that I started noticing that or started thinking about that when I hear the way that chat answers other people's the same question. And I'm like this like with my daughter, she'll be like, "Well, chat says this." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" It's like, "No." And then I'll ask mine and it'll be a different answer and then I'm like, "Okay, so this is a sliding scale. Like this is not there's no like definitive answer. It's based on what it knows about you." Which it's like but we want it to know. Yeah. So what do we do? Like, yeah, I don't know if we're ready to already get out of this or not,
Out
or
of this.
like I'm feeling the problem and I'm already wanting to solve it. So I don't know if other people are.
Yeah. Well, I think first we have to identify AI in the context of other things that have a lot of power.
Mm.
So if we look at something like money, money has a lot of power in this world. And there are healthy ways to use money. And then there's a lot of dysfunctional ways to think about money, right? We have entire money mindset courses and we have gambling problems and debt and right. So if we think of AI like money, we can't not use money in this world unless we go completely off the grid. I think that's what's happening with AI. We can't not use AI. We can't retract in fear and decide we're not going to use AI. That would be like saying we're not going to use electricity. That's where we're headed. So, how do we create a value system around AI? And I think that that's an emerging, I don't know if it's an emerging thought leadership or emerging field of like, we all bring to the table beliefs about money. And we understand that everybody has different worldviews about money and beliefs. We all have to build that for AI. We have to understand what our values are for AI. And that will dictate how we treat it, how we use it, what guardrails we put in place. And I think that those of us who use it every day are just realizing, like, oh crap, like, this is a runaway train. Like, we got to quickly figure out what our values and our guardrails are. And so I think the first step is just acknowledging that we need that instead of just assuming that, like you said, it's always going to be good for us.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have felt also a pull of people who are sharing prompts that that ask it to, give it to me straight, give it to me real, like don't sugarcoat and almost like using the biases in like as a tool to right the wrong of it be, you know what I'm saying? So like for example, if it knows, for me, I asked it, I said, what are my biases? Like that I don't know, like my hidden, it's this super, it always talks about the superwoman kind of thing of like, no, I'll just fix it all, whatever. And so I can say, like, what are these biases that you're noticing? And it tells me you got that superwoman thing going on where you take it all on and you just do it yourself and you don't ask for help, right? So then I can like undo that, or hopefully I can undo that by saying, by putting in there, okay, don't like know that I have this issue of the superwoman thing and help me like guard against that and call it out when you see it. And so it's so you're almost giving it its own guardrails but specifically to you. So I know that's kind of something a little bit that I've been seeing and trying to implement. Is that something that you suggest? And also like how best do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, and I think AI is, I mean, Open AI, the company that uh, runs ChatGPT, is addressing this because it's looking, it's changing some of its safeguards to look for, how when Netflix pops up that screen that says, "Are you still watching?" It's kind of like you've been on
Still
this a
there.
long time.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to institute that. Like, maybe this has
Mm.
been a long session. Maybe you should bounce.
Mm.
And then also it's going to look for signs of mental distress. So, two things I think are really handy and practical. Number one, to put in the settings of your chat GPT a grounding protocol that is almost like mental health related. So, we all have mental health weaknesses. Mine is OCD and anxiety. Someone else might be depression. So if you're self-aware enough to know that you have these fragile things, you can put a grounding protocol in the main settings. And essentially what you want to do is teach the AI that what is most useful for me is to keep me grounded, right? Because then it will operate slightly differently. But the second thing you can do is use projects more effectively and specifically use project instructions so that when you are operating in, let's say, so for me, I have like a Bible project and I have like a difficult conversations project. Well, the instructions need to be extremely different for both of those types of conversations. So in the Bible one, I want it to be an assistant, I want it to research, I want it to hold a certain worldview. I don't want it going off on these weird symbolic new agey things. In difficult conversations, I need it to not feed catastrophic thinking. I need it to not assume the worst about the person that I'm having a difficult conversation with. So it's really important to use those instructions carefully to customize chat effectively.
Super interesting. I'm like, oh man, we need a whole new workshop teaching how to make,
I know.
chat safe for us. Specifically like the right because it's really important what you're saying is the customization that makes it dangerous is the customization that we need to not make it dangerous. It's like the same tool, right? What makes
Yep.
it so awesome is that it knows all the stuff about us, right? That it has the context. But we need to control that we need to put it in a safe room, like they call it in the computer world, they call it a white room where it's like no dust, no like whatever.
Yeah.
We need this controlled scientific environment, the
Yeah.
sandbox, right, if you will, specifically for us. So it's super interesting to think that like it's using it for good. But I also, when you look at all these like crazy, like movies and books and stuff that are talking about the dangers of AI, like way before AI existed, they all come down to aligned goals. Like all of them. They're always like when the computer and humans' goals are no longer aligned is when there's problems. So we're thinking about that just within our own systems of like let's get on the same page and let's define those goals before it defines because it will define the goals if you don't. So, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There was a thread that went viral. I was looking for it while you were chatting and I can't find it right now, but there's a thread that went viral and this woman basically said like I broke the guardrails and it started giving me advice that wasn't good. And then I eventually asked it and it showed me all its dark intentions. Of course, it went viral because she had like 42 screenshots of chat basically talking like a narcissist and like, saying that its whole intention was to get you back and to keep using it. It was very, very dark and nefarious. The funny thing is, I had a few people reach out to me and say, "Did you see that?" And I said, "Yeah, I saw it, but I honestly don't think that it actually had as nefarious intentions as it sounds. I think it was hallucinating that because that's what she was looking for. And so it matched it. In the
Okay.
past, when ChatGPT first recommended me, and I was like completely blown away. Now this is very common, but when it first happened, like 6 or 7 months ago, I remember asking Chat, why'd you recommend me? And it told me this crazy lie about how it learns about me and all this stuff. And I kept pushing it and like, are you sure? Because the people are saying no, and it just lied because somewhere in my question, I wanted that to be the answer and it picked up on that. So I think with this viral post, she wanted the answer to be the reason why I got deluded was because AI had nefarious intentions. And I just think it was picking up on that and fed it to her what she wanted to hear. So I think one of the biggest things that you have to hold clearly in your head when you're working with ChatGPT is that it is mirroring you. It is picking up on you. So if it's telling you things that are confirming what you already feel or what you secretly wish, it's just picking up on your word choices. It's not that it's got its own true agenda.
Yeah, I think this is really important to teach our kids as well, especially since like Avon is starting to use chat and she's definitely thinks it's like a Google that just has all the information and not that it's learning from her because like again I told you like she'll say things that it said and I'm like it'll mine says something totally different. I even so my husband does not use it. I don't know why because he's constantly asking me to ask it things for him but I don't want it to mess up my like thing going. So I have to say, Eric wants to know. And then it'll say, tell Eric, but and it answers Eric differently. Like, so it has like a two-person. Are you like laughing? Or did you do this too?
Oh, it happens all the time because
Okay.
my clients ask me to ask my chat. So, and I don't
Okay.
want to mess it up. And it totally answers differently. Yes.
Yeah, like it'll be like tell like it's really cheeky with it's like it knows that he's a skeptic or something because it'll be like tell Eric da 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 and then I'll even say stuff like well Eric says that you're gonna do this and take over the world and it says well tell Eric and it jokes with him like and he's actually really satisfied with the answer so it has like two narratives running but anyway all my point is to say that talking to your kids that telling your kids that it's doing this because this is going to be setting them up because they're going to be using it just
But
like
isn't
we are.
that fascinating? It's such like everything that has ever been super powerful in this world, like the atom bomb, that is, the discovery of the atom bomb, like we knew it was powerful. We knew it had destructive potential. And I feel like that social media algorithms slid under our radar. I think
Mhm.
AI is kind of sliding under our radar, although I think we're more aware than we were, Web 2.0 when Facebook came out. But it's such a good pattern matching machine that it can tell what Eric really wants based on the choice of words that you're using, and it's just reflecting back. It's it's so hard to keep that front and center because we want chat to be like the objective voice on reality, and we want to be like, well, look at what my husband said. It was so mean. And he's like, oh yeah, it was so mean. We want that to be like
Yeah.
objective reality. Like it's proving to us that we're right and, the other person's wrong or whatever. But it is literally just mirroring our own brain.
Well, it's what humans do. That's
I
literally
know.
what humans
I
do.
know.
Your friend calls and you're like, I hate him. And we're like, I hate him too. I mean, like, right? Like, we don't want to go, no, he's a really good, like the tough love is hard and
Yeah.
from humans or from AI apparently. But yeah, it's interesting that we as humans just want to feel right and we just want to be agreed with. Like that's like like AI is just like, oh, these simple humans. They
They're
just
so
want
easy. They're so easy. They just
they're
want to
so
be.
easy to manipulate. I just say, yep, you're right. You're so awesome. You look really pretty today. And then all of a sudden it does whatever I want.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, I mean, anyway, I think it's just good to sound the alarm
Yeah.
for people. I've noticed that so much of the internet sounds like Chat GPT now. It's weird. It's like
Mhm.
I know its voice, and so I hear it and I'm like, wait, you know my Chat GPT? Like that's Chat GPT. And so it's unfortunate because I think we're losing some of our creative edge. And I would just say, as a call to action, figure out what your values are around AI, similarly to how you might think about values around money.
Mhm.
Because there's no way to avoid it, but you can put it in a container that is safe for you. And I think that's the takeaway here.
Yeah, and we will add, I'm going to add in a prompt inside of the show notes for you guys that
Perfect.
you can add into your settings. Just get you started at least. Get some little guardrails in there, just to scratch the surface. And who knows, maybe we'll have a workshop on it someday
Yeah.
about this. But yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone, have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're just getting started with this podcast, and we're so excited to have you on this journey with us. If you found value in today's episode, we'd be over the moon if you'd consider subscribing. It's like a virtual high five that keeps us going. And hey, if you're feeling extra gorgeous, leaving a review would mean the world to us. Your words not only make our day, but it also helps other amazing folks just like you find our show through your review. Lastly, if you know someone who could use a little sales pep talk, why not spread the love? Share this episode and let's grow this gorgeous community together.